You know, when I grew up, my heritage is actually out of the Southern Gospel era. That's really my background, where I learned harmonies and chord progressions and things like that. So when I became a minister of music, I really was somewhat trying to stay and produced to stay by the pastors upon their request to stay so cutting edge that I really just didn't want to remember any of my heritage. And I know that sounds stupid. I know none of you ever have dealt with any of that before, but for me, I did. I didn't deal real well with it. And so when I went to work at this particular church with Pastor Collins, who is one of our host pastors at this conference, he would oftentimes ask me to do a hymn. And at that juncture in my life, in that stage of the game, I was somewhat ornery and still am very stubborn in a good Holy Ghost way. But I always questioned him, like, a hymn in the middle of worship? What are you talking about, Pastor Collins? I'll never forget this one particular Sunday, which he and I often reminisce about. And when you see him in the hallways, you need to ask him, is he telling it the real story? Let's hear your side of the story. So, Pastor Collins, I'm getting on you, okay? But this particular Sunday, the Lord spoke to him about having me do the song, "'Tis So Sweet to Trust in Jesus." And he wrestled with telling me, "'Tis so sweet to trust in Jesus," because he said, I know he's going to get mad. I know he's going to stomp and snort, and the service will be wrecked if I ask him to do this. But you know, God has a way of dealing with us, and he talks to us worship leaders as well. And so I'll never forget this particular Sunday. I didn't know what he was thinking, but the song came into my spirit, and I just began to play on the keyboard. "'Tis so sweet to trust in Jesus." You know, that represented a tremendous turning point in my life. And as a matter of fact, now that I am the age that I am, I've really realized the hymns are an important part of our heritage. And now that I have a son, I know it's that much more important to document those hymns so that my son will grow up understanding the very valued, our values, our core Christian values, our theology that we sing about in hymns. We don't have that in much of our praise and worship courses because that's an expression of our worship. But the hymns have impacted us so greatly, and I want to make sure that my son grows up knowing some of these great hymns of the faith. And so much so, I've recorded this new CD, Psalms, Hymns, and Spiritual Songs, as my way of saying to the next generation, these are some of the great statements of faith that need to be passed on from one generation to the next.